Who is your under-the-radar Browns player you'll be paying close attention to during camp, and who could have a larger role than we're expecting?
Just who we've been talking about if they make the team. I mean, I think Trayton, the tight end there out of Wyoming, might have a good shot. He's just been steady Eddie with the Wyoming Cowboys, and he does everything right. And for him to push who we have on the team currently, I don't think it's that far-fetched. Also, Aiden Robbins, I mean, I was going to bang that drum because we called it out in one of the shows. He's what he has in his favor, aside from anything, he's 6'3", 240 pounds. He's the same size as the tight end that I was just talking about. And he runs a 4.56 or 4.65. Either way, for the type of style that we're running, like, I mean, I think that he can excel behind the running backs that we have. So those would be the two guys that I would think that would be come from behind. Other than that, if you want a comeback player of the year, then I'm going to say Grant Delpit because he missed half the year. And I know Ashton the Joker's asking who will lead interceptions. I'm going to pick him with 7 to 8.
I was going to pick Delpit too when I saw that question because I think he's going to get to freelance a lot. And
I do
we have the lockdown corners, so I think he's going to be able to we're going to play press man and let him just kind of be a playmaker. So I could see Delpit leading in interceptions. What about you? You got a under the radar player you think who might splash?
So I don't know if you could call him an under the radar player. When we kind of touched on him, I think there's two guys that are people are already kind of forgetting about. One of them, I think Foreman is going to have a critical role on this team. I love Nick Chubb. I just don't know what we're going to get from Nick Chubb when he comes back. And I think he's going to be that guy. If you look at like his track record over like last 5 years, he's kind of just stepped up and been a stud everywhere he's went. You know, like they trade McCaffrey in Carolina. He comes in and he steps in. He's awesome. Last year for Chicago, they were kind of abysmal. But when you watched him, it was nice. The guy's an angry runner. I'm excited to watch what he does with Cleveland. The other guy, and these are not like under the radar players, but I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have like kind of a huge season. Like I think me and Josh were talking about it. You have Amari who, you know, people are going to focus on. You got David who people are going to focus on. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's not like people look at him like a scrub because his situation's been so rough. I think he could actually kind of just absolutely flourish and see a lot of opportunities. So I'm excited to see what he does. Martin Emerson leading for interceptions.
I was going to say Martin Emerson for the interception thing, but I don't hate the Delpit pick at all.
My only issue with picking one of the corners is I just like they're not going to throw at Ward.
No,
I don't know if they're going to throw at Emerson. I guess they got to throw at somebody, but you know what I mean. Like I was trying to think like I don't think it'll be Ward because they just almost never throw it in his direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the I'm not saying he's Darrelle Revis, but it's like the Darrelle Revis didn't get tons and tons of interceptions because
nobody wanted nothing to do with him.
Didn't throw to his side. He just locked down on the side of the field. I had a couple defensive players I thought were maybe one of the first names I thought of was Alex Wright.
Okay.
I thought he really flashed at times last year, and if he could take another big jump in this offseason, there were times last year he played really well.
Yep.
So I think he could become like a really nice piece for that Browns defense. And then I think it has a chance to be an underrated signing. And if he kind of bounces back, he could be very good for the Browns. I think Devin Bush could be very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
okay.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
You know, like we're talking about how we're suffering a lot, and same with Hicks. Like I think those two guys can replace Anthony Walker nicely. And like Devin Bush was highly touted. He was very solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think he has a chance if sometimes you just need some fresh scenery.
Yep.
And he gets to play fast and loose in Jim Short's defense. I mean, haven't seen anybody come into Jim Short's defense and regress.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those are a couple guys I thought of. Like I think Devin Bush could have a nice bounce back season. I think if Alex Wright continues to progress, he could have like a good, nice rotational role on this defense. Because I thought he really played well at times last year, especially after a rookie season where we're like, I don't know what we're getting out of this guy. Next question. That was a good question. Jim Jam on Instagram. Favorite and least favorite Browns moments. So I think the easy answer to this is when they left and when they came back.
Yeah, no doubt.
My least favorite moment.
I know mine.
Mine's the helmet to helmet on Higgins in the divisional game.
Not mine.
I didn't even think about that, which is saying something.
That one crushes me. Every time I see that still image, I'm like, son of a bitch, because we had all the momentum in that game. To
like
make it to the AFC Championship game? Oh,
if that's a touchdown, that game goes, because then Mahomes is hurt.
Yep.
That game goes, to me, goes a very different way.
Yes.
What about you?
So, best moments, I think Brown Steelers in, what was it, 2021?
The playoff game?
And the week before.
Oh, yes, the back-to-back.
Finally, like, hey, even though we're playing their backups, we can beat these guys, and then we beat the shit out of them.
I sat in my chair in my living room and just like
Screamed.
had like a tear coming down my face. I look like Ben Roethlisberger.
I was at the Cleveland one, and it was like 12,000 people because of COVID, and I was like, this is very special. I was convincing my wife, I'm like, this is a very special moment in Cleveland sports history right now. My least favorite moment, I had a lot of trouble thinking about this because the first person that popped in my head was Corey Coleman. And then I was like, oh no, it's not. It would be the Monday Night Football game that I attended with Blake. Was John there for that too?
That was Joe and Dave.
Yes, okay. Monday Night Football, we're playing the Baltimore Ravens. And we went for a game-winning field goal while the game was tied. They blocked it and fucking returned it for a touchdown as time expired. I've never been so scared to be in Cleveland. People are ripping their jerseys off, like just Hulk style. And I was like, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to get the hell out of here right now. That one, I'm sure there's worse moments. Like Nick Chubb injury. Like we could throw some of those out there, but like that to me, like. That was devastating.
So for myself, for least favorite moment, I was going to say the Chubb injury. I just remember like that happening and just being like, I was almost like in shock.
Yes.
Like I looked like the team. And I think, you know what I mean? I don't know if you all remember this when we should have won the game, but Dwayne Rudd took his helmet off on the field.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like whenever I think of just like biggest, worst blunders in Browns history, that is like one of the first things that comes to mind for me. I thought about the Monday night game for sure.
I was alive for the fumble. I was alive for the fumble and the drive. Out of the two, the fumble was the worst. Like he was going into the end zone. It got popped out 2 yards into the end zone and flipped back like a yard or two, and Denver got it. The game was done then. Like that was so deflating. The drive was the drive. I mean, from what I remember, Elway just threw 90-mile-an-hour fastballs and nobody could stop him because we were sitting on a prevent defense, and we didn't win that one either. Best moment, though, I would have to say when we clinched with the Jets the first half. That was one of the best moments, like being in Cleveland, being in the playoffs. I got to sit with John. I got to hang out with Justin that day. We brought people from Ottawa that had never been to a game before, and they were mesmerized because they're like, man, is it always like this? I'm like, well, not really, but just enjoy it. You know what I mean? So that was super awesome. And I mean, if I could think of another one when I was young, I remember the Browns were in playing the Raiders. They were down 14-0 at halftime. I was so mad. I turned off the TV. I think I almost thrown the TV through the window. Come back, watch the game. Metcalf caps it off. Browns win 17-14. I never jumped so high in my life. It was friggin' fantastic. That one just stands out to me for a regular season game.
When I think about my favorite moments, I have a couple. Obviously, I thought about the Browns playoff win. I thought immediately about the Thursday night game against the Jets. I was at that game.
The Baker.
I took a buddy of mine who's from Greece. He had never been to an American football game before. I had taken him to an Indians game earlier in that week, and we had club seats, and he was like kind of like amazed by that. But you know, baseball's like just like a lot more chill. And then I took him to the Thursday night game for the Browns, and it was already electric, like before Baker even came in. But then Baker came in, and he's playing well, and it was unlike any sporting game I've ever been to. I've been to Cavs playoff games. I was at an Ohio State game when we played Iowa and then we rushed the field after because we clinched the Big Ten. I've been to some big games at different things, and that was the craziest, most electric atmosphere I've ever been a part of. It was a regular season Thursday night game. Nothing has even come close to it. Like, my friend just looked at me, my buddy from Greece, and was just like, this is insane. Yeah. This dude's been to like European soccer games. So that, and then it might have been my first ever Browns game. We were playing Baltimore, and they were beating us at the half, and we couldn't do anything. Charlie Fry was our quarterback. We had Dennis Northcutt, and then the second half, Charlie Fry and Dennis Northcutt went off. I think Northcutt returned a punt for a touchdown. He had like 180 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns or something, and we beat them late. And Charlie Fry goes running off the field, pointing up at us. I was right above the tunnel. I was like, I'm going to love this team forever. So that's one of the best moments for me for Browns.